Ian, we were at the Uplink,
We were.
Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, and we discussed an interesting piece of hardware, the CHIPO-64, in big air quotes, handheld Nintendo 64 mod that's on eBay for sale for $900. And here's us talking about it. We have one topic, main topic du jour here, and it's something that I didn't know existed until one of the faithful patrons, Ty, purchased one, and I did my monthly Google Hangout and saw it. It's the CHIPO-64 device. So, Ian, the CHIPO-64 is from Embedded Circuits Technology. And what
Circus? I love an embedded circus.
Embedded Circuits Technology. Is that what I said? So what it is, it's a handheld, in quotes, big air quotes, Nintendo 64 system that is large. It weighs,
Those quotations are doing a lot of lifting.
it's about 5 pounds. It comes in multiple colors. You can buy them on eBay. Only orange, red, and purple are in stock. The blue, pink, and white and black are out of stock. So what it is it has a built-in LCD screen. It has the original N64 hardware in there, connected to its own acrylic case with buttons on the outside to play it like, I guess, a handheld. It also comes with its own stand there. And it has 4 controller ports in the bottom. It has the controller pack, a slot in the back. It has the expansion pack for the video on the back. It includes the 4 meg red one that came with, Donkey Kong 64 on the back there. And it has even a space from a controller pack in order to put in a rumble pack or memory card, because most games need the memory storage there. It's an interesting piece of hardware because it's like they have on the eBay listing, they do not trim down the motherboard at all. It's the guts from an N64 into this quote-unquote portable N64.
We should have pulled an N64 up for size comparison.
Because it's not that far off from, like, literally lifting an N64.
No, I mean, if they hit trimming the board down, you're lifting an N64 with the additional beef of...
The beef?
The additional beef of a screen and a controller attached
I'm going
to
to put the link in the chat right now for the Long Island Retro people so they can take a look right there.
This is like 3.5 history books in height, I think.
3 NES guidebooks?
Yeah, I was going to say, take an NES guidebook and duct tape it to the top of an N64. And I think you kind of have what we're working with here.
Well, it's interesting because I talked to Ty, who this has 3 3500, what is it, MAH? Is that milliamps? Rechargeable batteries. So the 3 like big bricks you buy to recharge your cell phone, like you get like 6 charges out of them. 3 of those inside of there to power this. And
3 mAh.
3 mAhs, 3500 mAhs. And it lasts up to 3 hours, depending upon the monitor settings and game cartridges.
Well, 3 hours is all you need for the N64 anyways. There's nothing to play on it for much longer than that.
Well, most of the games, there's only 3 RPGs that you can play for 3 hours, and you have the Zelda games would last 3 hours.
Sure. I can play Pokemon Snap for 3 hours.
Oh, okay. It has 2 built-in speakers that I was told are pretty good quality, but you don't want to do them super loud. Obviously they don't get garbled. And it's an 8-inch monitor at the proper ratio of 4:3 at 640 x 480. So
thank goodness.
They crop them off. Yeah, thank goodness. So it's 12-inch by 6.5 x 4-inch, and this has 4 pounds. I was told about 5. Maybe with the stand it's 5. So what's interesting is that this cost $900.
Jesus H.
Before taxes. Because everything is taxed on eBay now nationwide and shipping. So this will cost you a good $1,000 for this, a good $1,000 for this. The one thing I'm going to say is that I would be interested in this potentially if it had the original buttons on the front. Obviously, you can plug in your own controllers in the back because it has 4 controller ports. Because again, this is an N64 basically, board.
Yeah, you can hook. I mean, one of the things that advertises you can hook it up as just a normal system
and do AV out. Because it has the multi-out in the back. It uses different thumbsticks. There's no D-pad. There's a circular, mushy-looking D-pad, unfortunately. There's yellowish-looking C buttons, and it has the B and A's that are not the same there. And I asked someone to know about why do you think they didn't use the original buttons, and they said, well, it's a lot harder to hack the N64 buttons to use it versus just doing, I guess, generic buttons that way. And plus, it might have something to do with the acrylic board and how those could be flat buttons versus the curvature of the N64 buttons. Okay, so it was a little complicated to do that. That's fine, but this cost $900. For $900, I'd want the authentic. Give me a real D-pad, for God's sake.
Yeah, at least give me a real D-pad on
and the real thumb pad, the real joystick. They call it control stick. That's a proper
I don't want the
terminology.
actual control stick.
You
The thing
wouldn't
is
want it?
dog shit. No, it is. It's garbage. I mean, the N64 joystick. I mean, you can love the 64. That's fine. I rip on it, and it's all in good fun. People who like the system like the system. But that joystick sucks. It gets super loose and garbage.
So maybe this is a more reliable function. However,
I don't want to play games with a quarter. The D-pad is no good.
It has two triggers for L and R, and then the Z button's an extra trigger on the left side, I believe. They are mushy looking trigger buttons, unfortunately, on the back. I mean, like porridgey mushy looking buttons. No. Just like the D-pad. Like you don't want your trigger buttons to be mushy. You want to be snappy.
I love when I push a button and the first thing I think is porridge.
It's like, it doesn't like to spring back.
It's like tapping a bowl of oatmeal.
It's all sticky. So I'm not trying to bash something like this, because obviously these people have, they printed out their own acrylic case for this. This isn't like this is one step up from a home mod, I say, because this company makes their own little board. So like there's a little battery meter on the front. They make that own battery meter to put it in to see the charge level.
It's a very fancy battery meter.
So this is one step above a home person doing it.
These remind me a lot of I think it was Ben Heck, when Ben Heck was doing in the early 2000s, was doing like some of the first video game case mods, taking an Atari 2600 and putting it into a portable form, a Dreamcast into a portable form. I think he even did, or someone who was doing something similar to him has done N64 stuff similar to this.
A little more portable than this, though, probably?
Maybe. I think they probably trimmed boards down and things, but a lot of times it wasn't about necessarily getting it to to be truly portable. It was kind of a hey, I did this sort of thing.
Sure.
And those were never really mass produced. So this just kind of looks like you said, one of those home mods, but
it's a step above.
Yeah.
It's because it says it has a custom made motherboard. They make their own motherboards for this to interconnect with the original N64 hardware to maximize reliability. No modifications have been done to the original hardware. No emulation, no board trimming. We are against trimming and damaging original hardware. Well, you've already modified and destroyed an N64. You might as well. I'm not telling you how to do your business. You've sold some of these, so what do I know? But like,
it's a funny place to cut the line or draw the line.
If you can trim it, trim it. I mean, we're not, it's done.
Is this where we jump into an ad for Manscaped?
No, this is where we jumped into an ad for Manscaped. But I mean, you use the lawnmower 3.0 to trim your board. Yeah. But if you're going this far, you've already cannibalized an N64. I don't think there's be purists that say, "Oh my God, don't cut one inch here or there."
You cannibalize the 64, but please don't make this more comfortable for my hands.
You can't remake this into a 64 easily. I think the toothpaste is out of the tube, so to speak, on this.
Sure.
So I don't know. I mean, Ty got one. He's happy with it. This might be something fun to bring to a convention. But it's not that much less of a hassle versus bringing an N64. But you have your own built-in screen.
Friend of the show, Ty, he buys some interesting things. He once, in a chat, showed me that this is a thing that they make. It's a TV tuner for the Game Boy Advance, but it's a stand, with speakers on it. So it's like a big stand, and you put the Game Boy Advance in it, and it's a TV tuner, and then it broadcasts the sound out of the base of it. It's like $80 or something like that, and I think
so. You can pick signals out of the air still.
But you can also use it as a TV. You can run audio. You can run like AV into it and then display it on the Game Boy.
You want a little 2.5-inch, little 3-inch TV?
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. I want to see what a 360, because 360 you can still use AV, and PS3 you could still use AV. I want to see what that looks like. Trying to be forced through.
But it had a little middle antenna on the side, because when I tried my turbo tuner Turbo Tuner.
That's my favorite stuff.
7 years ago. You can criticize everything I miss saying.
It's all right. I'm going to stumble over everything too.
When I tried it, I picked up some creepy things out of the air. There was some weird orchestra going on at the time. So there's stuff that's still in the air. You can get an HD antenna. There's stuff that you can get analog.
You ever read about numbers stations?
No.
Never read about number stations.
No,
I like to, so
maybe
in my life, in my world,
it's my
in my mind.
never.
I had some caffeine this morning, folks.
I'm gonna live forever. Sorry, New Jersey, Bon Jovi, Almost Long Island. Go on.
I'm so sour over your singing. Number stations, Patrick. I think like disembodied like radio broadcasts are kind of the creepiest thing in the world. I'm afraid of big frogs.
Okay.
I don't like big frogs. And if I were to turn on a radio and hear something spooky on a radio, that would scare me. Well, spooky. Number stations are stations that just broadcast numbers, people, or children's voices, just in a monotone way, going 1, 7,
why
14. They think it's because they're transmitting codes to spies out in the field.
Like it's the Cold War in 1958?
Yeah, they're still doing it because even today, there's no more reliable way. There's no way anyone can crack that code unless they've got the cryptogram in their hand, whatever it's called. The code breaker. Let's just call it the code breaker.
Okay.
Anyways, I was just thinking about picking up scary things out of the air.
You're scaring me right now out of the air.
I know.
Anyway, back to the CHIPO-64.
Right.
So this could be something interesting to me if this was, I would say, obviously, they're manufacturing their own boards for this. They have their own battery indicator. They made that. I get it. This company's doing other things. But $950 to $1,000 with tax on this. That's a special type of like person that's into this stuff that would get this. This is not obviously a mass appeal item.
No, I honestly don't know who it's really appealing to other than people who just think
they like mod stuff.
It's a novelty. That is specifically what they're into. And you mentioned that there were a couple of colors out there that were sold out. I wonder if by sold out it meant they made one and someone bought that color.
I don't know. I mean, how many do you think they would make for an experiment for this? They have to manufacture that board. I don't think, unless it's a 3D printed board, but I think they for the case, obviously the board you can't 3D print the actual board to connect everything. I don't know. Orange said they sold 5. Red they sold 5. So I think they did like 6 each. It says last one, so they did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They made like 50 of these, I think, in different colors. So they made their money. So screw Pat. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Charge $1,000 for the CHIPO-64. What the hell do I know?
People have been buying some crazy things with the stimulus payments and the stimulus checks.
You think that's what it is?
Some of this? It's never been easier for us to sell $300 RPGs at the store. I think that's going to get very difficult.
For Saturn?
No, for PlayStation. Like everything.
$300 now? A lot of
everything is just stupid priced. Yeah. Persona 2, Valkyrie Profile, Suikoden 2.
Lunar 2?
No, probably not Lunar 2.
Okay.
Yeah, man, they're all crazy.
Wow. Okay. Ty suggested talk to them about getting a review unit. I'm like, I'm not comfortable getting $1,000 review unit to talk about it. Like, that's fine. I don't need it. We're reviewing it now, kind of, sort of. The one weird thing he did say was maybe it's just his unit. I don't want Chippo people to get mad at me. Is that it's really weird if you want to play it plugged in. He says the buttons get weird sometimes, so it's unfortunately not really designed to play it while it's plugged in while it's charging. So that's kind of a strike against it.
Well, especially when it's only got a 3-hour battery life.
Yeah, that's kind of a shame. I'm picturing the 3 heavy bricks that are in there. The 3 heavy, this is the ones the one I bring to conventions.
Yeah, no, I feel like 5 pounds isn't that's lighter than I would have expected. I would have expected it.
Yeah,
to
because
weigh
the 3 bricks probably weigh like a pound and a half. Just those 3. Those are not light. Those things.
I was guessing maybe like your average toddler.
Your average toddler?
Your average toddler in weight.
The NES guidebook still weighs more than this thing. So
yeah, see, I find that hard to believe.
So, all right, CHIPO-64, good for you. You've sold like the majority of these units. We're talking about you there. So there you go. We just missed it. This is something that is in our kind of our bread and butter wheelhouse on the CU podcast there.
We like to talk about strange hardware.